Happy New Year, Des Moines. Here we are at our first edition of City Spotlight. I'm Mayor Frank Cownie, and today we're going to the Glaza Studio to talk with Rachel Glaza about all the programs that are going on over there, and talk to Jamie Seitz about a Zumba program that she has in dance. And then we're going to go over to West End Architectural and talk to Don Short about how to reuse, repurpose, and recycle. We're going to have a good time this month. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Visit Des Moines, we have it all. All right, welcome back. I'm at Glaza Studios, coincidentally with Rachel Glaza. Rachel, welcome to City Spotlight.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing over here at the studio, and how long have you been here, first of all?
Well, I've been here since about last March, but we had our opening party April 30th of 2011, and we've been doing dance and fitness classes and events ever since then.
Talk to us a little bit about the concept behind why you opened the studio, and then tell us a little bit about the events and the classes that you have up here.
Well, I've always loved dancing. When I moved to Des Moines, I got really involved in the salsa scene, and I just thought it was great. And I danced with Gateway Dance Theater, and there in Des Moines, it was hard for me to find any adult dance classes. And so eventually I found this space, and I thought it'd be perfect to offer adult dance and fitness classes. And we also have events. There's many different types. And January 14th, we are having a salsa dance event, and where you basically dance salsa all night. But
so you're bringing a live band in?
We're not having a live band.
Okay.
We'll have a DJ.
Okay.
But we at other parties or other events we have had live bands. But usually some of the events that we have had a live performance aspect to it, or performance art aspect to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so talk to us a little bit about classes. So now we're doing kind of events, and we want adults. And why just adults, by the way?
I think the adult dance, there's not many adult dance classes offered in Des Moines. It's an underserved community. There's many children studios, and so I feel that there needs to be more options for adults. You know, I was a member at the YMCA for a little while, and what they offer is wonderful, but there wasn't really any nice studio space where you could come and really be artistic and express yourself in I don't want to say a safe environment, but in a nice calming environment like we have here. You know.
So when you do your events up here,
yeah,
you have a rather large space.
Yes.
So how many folks, and how do you reach out to let people know that you're doing an event, and when and where? How do people get in touch with Glaza Studio and find out what you're doing and when you're doing it and all that? Well,
we have a website, www.glazastudio.com, and then we also have a Facebook page. As of right now, a lot of it's been word of mouth and social media. So that is typically how people find out, or from our website. I've had a lot of luck with just word of mouth, and people. There has been some PR efforts, depending on what event it's been, but. Yeah, just coming to the Facebook page or the website, and you'll find out what's going on.
Is there a phone number anybody could call? And
yeah, the phone number that I put on the website is 515-720-0984, and that'll go directly to me. So I answer any questions about the space. We rent out the space for weddings and and different things like that. I actually officiate weddings, and I've officiated a few weddings. So.
Do you do that up here as well?
Yeah, I do.
All right. You do some dancing yourself.
Yes.
What type of dancing do you do? And then also, do you do those classings up here as well?
Well, I love all types of dancing. Pretty much any type I really enjoy. I really like belly dancing, and I belly dance with a band, and a few bands actually. And at this time, I'm not offering belly dance classes, but I am considering doing some workshops because a lot of people have been interested in them.
Is time, what are the hours usually of operation, or is it sort of by appointment or by class? How does somebody just stop in? What are generally, how do you operate? What are the hours here?
Well, we have a calendar on the website, and then how you register is you email the instructor, and their email address is on the website. It's a calendar. We have early morning classes, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, which is like a get lean sort of class where you come in and do really high energy aerobic class. And then during the lunch hour, we offer yoga on Monday and Wednesdays. That's 12:15 to 1. And then we have a lot of after work classes. There's modern, there's hip hop, there's Zumba, a little black dress workout, ballet, which is hugely popular, salsa, adult tap, and a cardio dance and a cardio strip fit that's kind of fun and sexy.
So in terms of all the different offerings that you have here, what's the focus really? Is it health and fitness and that sort of thing, or is it just interest in dance and hey, here's an opportunity for adults to get involved in dance and an opportunity that's otherwise maybe not readily available? I mean, how are you?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, when you start dancing, some people say, "Oh, I can't dance. I'm too this to dance, or I'm too fat, or I'm too something." They make up some excuse. But the thing is, when you start dancing, the health and the fitness just come right along. I want the focus to be, or I think the focus should be for the appreciation of the different stylizations of dancing. And virtually every dance has some sort of story behind it or some cultural significance behind it. And it's a celebration of life. I mean, people are made to move. We're all made to move. And babies love to dance. Babies are the best audience when I belly dance. They are so captivated. And they think I'm some magical being or something. It's really cute. And they don't want to stop watching me. Their parents will be like, "Come on." And they're like, "No, I don't want to go." It's just, seeing that sort of like magic and inspiration in their eyes is I think that's something we lose when we get older, and I'm not sure why. So I'm trying to bring some of that back and the joy in movement. I really want this to be the focus of the joy in movement. And like the Zumba classes, those are extremely fun. Everyone has a great time.
One of the instructors that you have for your programs is Jamie Seitz.
Yes.
Let's bring her on and talk about sort of what she's doing, because I know that she's pretty focused on keeping people in shape.
Yes, very good.
All right.
They say the secret to a good dog is a tired dog, and that's why dog parks are so important. They encourage people and their pets to exercise and socialize together. I've had dogs all my life, and this is Marley, and this is Moses. She needs a job to do to be happy, so that's why we play Frisbee, we do agility, and we come to the dog park. My name is Jackie, and I geek dog parks.
All right, now here we are with Jamie Seitz. Jamie, here we are at Glaza Studios, and you do a class called Zumba.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about what is Zumba.
Zumba is a Latin-based dance class, so all of the music is world music, mostly Latin, but some African, some Indian belly dance music, some pretty much anything you can think of. We throw in a lot of hip hop in there too, but usually every class is at least 70% Latin bass or world music. And it was created by a man, Beto Perez, about, I think, 15 years ago or so in Florida. And it started just, he was a fitness instructor at a gym, and he left all of his music, fitness music at home, and so he just plugged in what he had on cassette tapes and taught a dance class, and the ladies in his class loved it, and they asked for it again, and that's how Zumba was born. So,
but the idea is not just to teach dance, right? I mean, it's sort of a fitness class as well, right?
It's just a way to listen to the music instead of like in a typical fitness class. You would, break it down by 8 counts and teach the same types of things over and over. Zumba, you just take some of the moves that are original to, Latin America or Africa. You take those moves and you put them to music, and so it's really meant to just be fun. And the whole premise is that no two people are going to Zumba the same. So it's how your body moves, and it's how, whatever your fitness level is, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So it's just meant to be a fun way to move around and dance. There is an instructor in there to give you some ideas, but if you come to a Zumba class, you'll find people doing all kinds of stuff in the class. So it's really just kind of a fun way and a good way to listen to other types of music.
What would our viewers expect if they came to the class? Would they? How long do the classes last? How intense is the workout? I mean, give us an idea of what that looks like.
Here at Glaza, the class is 45 minutes long, and we run in 6-week sessions. The nice thing about Zumba here is that we stick with the same list of about 11 songs. And so when you come week 1, you come in, you learn all these new moves and new dances, and it's a little overwhelming. But by week 3, you've seen them, you've kind of tried them out, and so you can make it really big and really fun. And so it's
or I
really
can choose which ones I can do and,
yeah.
and leave
yes,
the others
and the nice
out.
thing is if you hate one song, it's done in like 3.5 minutes, and
Yeah.
so then you move on to something totally different. So it can be as intense as you want. A lot of people come and they are completely drenched from head to toe because it's just 45 minutes of just constant moving. Other people though, if they want to come in and take it easy, that's fine too. It really is, it's how your body works, and we stress it through every class. If you have knee issues or if you have problems with your hips or arthritis, then you take out what doesn't feel good to you. And so there's modifications for every class, and so it can really be for anyone.
So it's sort of like fitness, taking our mind off really doing the work, right?
It is. 45 minutes goes by really quickly in a Zumba class. And so I think that's one of the things I love about it. I have taught a lot of different Zumba or a lot of different fitness classes over the years, and this one goes by really quickly, and you are smiling and laughing, and some of the moves are kind of ridiculous and fun, and so it goes by really quick, and it's something like that I've never done before.
What's the difference between salsa and merengue?
Just the location from where they're from and just different dance moves. Salsa has, front and back salsa and different maraca moves, and merengue has a whole set of different movements. So similar music, but just different moves. So
Okay.
yeah, this one is a little bit of, it's a reggaeton, it's a Latin hip hop song, and so does anyone want to join me?
All right, well, let's watch first, and then maybe we'll see if anybody wants to jump in.
Okay, here we go. It's way more fun to do it with a group.
Yeah. All right, so Jamie, show us, we're going to even get you a student here now. We've got Rachel who's going to step right up here. So talk to us about what are we going to see this time?
We're going to do an African number, so it's some African Arabic tribal music and just some really easy fun moves to do. This is a class favorite. We get to use the whole space. We'll just show you part of it today, but this one is a really fun one that we usually end with. So, and
Okay.
it's one we're currently doing at Glaza right now.
All right, let's get going.
Okay. Step it back.
Welcome back from our city calendar. I hope you found something that you and your family can enjoy in and around the city of Des Moines during the month of January. But right now, we're at West End Architectural with Don Short, and we're going to talk about some of the things that you do to reuse, repurpose, recycle materials. Tell us what's
What do we do?
yeah.
Well,
What's
Mayor, I'd
involved?
like to thank you for coming down here. I also want to give you a little prop on the city of Des Moines. There are so many really cool things happening, the sculpture park, and it's a lot of behind the scene things that make that happen. And I think the council and yourself don't get quite as much credit from time to time from people like us who use the city, hear the customers coming in who talk about how attractive it is, how nice it is downtown. So you guys do need to pat yourselves on the back for what we have. Des Moines is a cool, cool place.
Well, I appreciate your saying that, and we'll relay that message on to the rest of the council. But
Well, I'm sure they'll watch.
yeah,
Yeah, they'll be
absolutely.
watching.
They're on this.
Yeah.
They're on this.
Well, to answer your questions on what we do at West End, we started out 6 years ago as a 2-weekend tag sale, put it in the Des Moines Register. We had so many people come in during those 2 weekends that I just kept staying open. So we went from 6 years ago with 2 people. Now I have a full-time staff of 14 people. We're open 7 days a week. We have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of building materials, antiques, stained glass windows, lighting, and then what we've started doing in the last 4 years is producing furniture, custom furniture, made out of recycled pieces. So right now, we basically do everything. We buy and sell old things, we make new things out of old things, and it's absolutely overwhelming.
In terms of your employment, because I'm interested, you went from 2 employees, yourself and
Another
one
person,
other,
yep.
and now you've got 14. A lot of those committed to doing tables like where we're sitting right now?
Yes, we have 3 people that build full-time.
Okay.
Then I have 2 or 3 people that merchandise, keep the store looking good. We have 2 people who finish products full-time, and then we run a coffee shop and do events out of our space. So we have a staff that does the party part of it. We do 15 events a month within our building. So everybody does get to do a little bit of everything, but we have people that are pretty task-driven.
How far do you have to, you've got a lot of product, you're repurposing, reusing, but some of it, and as I look around, lots of different things around the store. Do you find it's getting harder or easier to find product?
I think the real quality museum type pieces are becoming harder to find, and it's twofold. One is a good thing that people aren't tearing buildings down that have a lot of character, so those elements aren't as available here, which is good. It's not as hard to find reclaimed product. Like we do a lot of barn tables where we make the material out of barn wood. Those barns, rather than being burned up or dumped, are now being torn down and saved. So in that vein, we have a pretty good source for material. People are becoming more aware of it, so instead of throwing something away, I probably get 20 calls a week, would you like this piece? The copper gutter off the Stewart Church, when that church was demoed and rebuilt after the fire,
Sure.
we got all that copper material and made tables out of it. And so people are more cognizant of the use of a piece that could be thrown in the dump.
How far do you have to reach sometimes to find it? You get 20 calls a week. What, are they all from Iowa? Are they all from central Iowa? Or is it other states? Or where do you get your product?
It's actually all of the above. I would say probably 80% of our material comes within a 100-mile radius. We work with salvage companies out of New York City, Chicago, Kansas City, Minneapolis, where they might have something that we want to use and they might want to buy product from us. I get riddling racks out of France that we make wine tables out of. So it's kind of all over the board, but the majority of it is probably a 100-mile radius. Our end product, we sell to companies in Minneapolis wholesale, we sell to companies in LA, we sell to companies in New York City that buy our end products like this copper table. So we're trying to get more going out than coming in.
Talk to me just for a minute, because a lot of the work that we do on this show is all about the environment.
Yes.
And so as you go into a lot of these old buildings, old houses, old whatever, churches, commercial structures, do you feel like you're making a significant dent in the lessening of stuff going into the landfill, for instance? Or
I'd like to say that we are, but if you take the tonnage of a building and what we actually are able to reuse, it's a very small dent. We end up taking more of the, I'll say the earrings off a sow, because it's the real pretty pieces, as opposed to being able to reclaim the 2x4s or the plaster or the asphalt shingles. That's above my realm. But I think the times...
Or at least outside of it.
Outside of it and above it, because I can't do all that. You know, it's.
Yeah.
But I think we're trying to get people on a mindset that most people will never be able to fully go green on a house with solar and geothermal. But if they can use all reclaimed doors, all reclaimed flooring, that type of reusable part, it makes a difference.
It's interesting around the state, and I think we'd like to at least take a walk around and take a look and see some of the things that you have and how you're doing some of this. But we've talked to people that are living off the grid and doing some different things, you know, where they're using a lot of available energy sources, whether it's wind or whether it's solar or geothermal, and they have battery arrays as backups and all kinds of interesting things, and all the application of that, plus super insulated houses,
right.
I mean, where they're getting R60 walls and R90 roofs and stuff. It's so interesting to watch how people are trying to actually do that footprint that's zero.
Correct.
And some are actually achieving it. And it's a bit of a stretch for us living in an urban environment to try to figure out how we get from here to there, because some of the things probably don't meet code exactly.
Right.
But I think that we have to look at those opportunities in the future on how we do it, and certainly your efforts in saving and preserving, not only for the environment, but more importantly, maybe part of the fabric that is and was our community and other communities around, rather than burning it up, crunching it up, throwing it in the landfill, or maybe just for the metal purpose, somebody recycling and selling that. So.
And there's different levels. We're filling a niche, but we can't be all of it. So someone else has to come up with the green wall side and taking the old plaster and maybe turning that into concrete, for instance. And so other people have to do different kind of combinations of what we're doing now to what it could be. And we're comfortable with where we're at, and we like to think we're contributing.
And I think you are in a big way, but I think it's out of seeing what you do often might cause somebody else to say, hey, I could take this other piece of this and do something else with it. And you know, we kind of go through peaks and valleys in terms of people's interest in lots of these efforts, whether it's energy or whatever. And at the moment, seems like we've been refocused on the economy and jobs and those kinds of things. But you're actually, you know, creating jobs.
Correct.
Doing the right thing with recycled material. So if you don't mind, maybe we could kind of take a walk around and see some of the stuff that you have.
We'd be happy to show you some of the real practical pieces that we're doing. that everyday people can incorporate.
Right. Now I noticed that this table that we're sitting at here
Yes.
is, would you call this a dining room table kind of a thing?
It is,
or-
and we do these custom sizes. So countertops, we do dining room tables, we do bathroom vanities. This particular table is old two-handled copper boilers that they used to can food in. They're fun sitting by a fireplace with a couple of logs in them, but we see a better look by putting them onto the tables. We also make tabletops out of reclaimed barn lumber. We make light fixtures out of the corn picker tips off a combine that's going to hit the landfill.
Wow.
We have those going to LA pretty often because out there they've never seen a corn picker tip. And when it's on a wall like this, it looks really cool.
Well, and especially if you have no idea what it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, and do you feel like, what part of the niche do you think you fit in terms of this repurposed stuff? Because some of the pricing is not exactly inexpensive.
Correct. I guess what I would look at is what we're doing is more decorative and functional. And
Okay.
so we do a lot of art, like we make the tin panels on a wall that'll hang. That's discretionary. A dining room table is something that you need. You can buy it from some places that it might be imported out of pressed plywood, or you can buy a custom table here that you might have for 100 years.
Right.
And I'm not saying 100 years, but you could. And it could be like the antiques that we have upstairs right now that were our grandparents that were made 100 years ago. That's kind of what we're trying to do, is make a real quality piece out of something that was already made.
Right, and sometimes it's that effort in a quality piece, in a well-made piece that'll last that period of time. It's sort of like I planting a tree.
Yes.
They won't see the benefit of it usually during their lifetime, but certainly their kids and their grandkids and their great-grandkids can and will.
Yep, exactly.
So let's take a look around.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Appreciate you guys being here.
You bet.
Well, back in this area, we have a lot of our product that is sold and waiting to be finished or go out the door to a customer. This particular barn table, we've made the top out of reclaimed barn lumber. It's a martini top table. It can seat 8. This one is sold, getting delivered next week. Then behind it, we have an antique pyramid out of a arts and crafts home. And so the mixture of having the old and new is kind of what we do here. I don't know if you can see in the back, there's a Coke sign. People might reuse the Coke sign for decor in a loft or a restaurant or a bar. So we just kind of look for a little bit of everything. And then over here to my right, I don't know if the camera will show it, but we have a copper top table that we've made out of the copper boilers. We have a tin top table that we've made out of reclaimed tin ceiling. The piece that I'm standing in front of is actually a timber out of an old building that's 4 inches by 14 inches, and it'll be a top on this metal console table. And the console table is made out of an old wrought iron fence railing. And mixing the metal and the wood together just kind of gives an interesting look. Some of the smaller decorative pieces we have on the back bar, limestone balustrades off the original Court Avenue Bridge here in Des Moines. And when the water level got low, they knocked the bridge, pieces that they'd knocked off the bridge, some guys went in and pulled them out of the water. So we've got some of those, piece off of a corn crib, old gauges. We take anything that's got a little bit of character and turn it into decor. Or we'll take something that has a lot of character and repurpose it into a more functional piece that we can use today. And so we kind of look for the potential of everything. So a lot of what we do ends up being a reuse. This is tin ceiling out of an old building, and we reuse these as basically decor, pieces that can hang on the wall. And as I said before, we do a lot of furniture building, custom furniture made out of reclaimed pieces. So this particular island, we've used old porch columns for the legs, barn lumber for the top and the shelf. We build these islands any size. They can have doors, drawers, cabinets, whatever people want to do with them. We also have in front of me a sofa table. The material of the sofa table is the flooring out of a semi-trailer. And so we've cut all the bolts off, put the pieces together, and reused the wood that goes down the highway in the semi-trailer. Put it on a bent steel base, and you've got a nice coffee table. We also do a lot of interesting lighting out of reclaimed materials. We use antique fixtures, but also come up with unique and different ways to use parts into interesting lighting.
Well, that's it for this edition of City Spotlight. Hope you enjoyed not only the dance and the exercise, but also how we reclaim, reuse, and repurpose old stuff. When thinking about reusing, repurposing, and recycling, contact the City of Des Moines Public Works to request a blue cart recycle bin at 515-283-4950. And remember, we do pick up Christmas trees as yard waste, or contact Metro Waste Authority for a location nearest you at 515-244-0021. Until next time, I'm Mayor Frank Cownie, and this is City Spotlight.